Hello and welcome to my home office studio, and I'm glad you could come. And we're going to talk about probiotics today. Probiotics have become a very important piece of our health, ingredient, if you will, to our health because of our dietary changes and because of processed food and all kinds of factors that are going into why we need probiotics and why probiotics have become so important to our well-being. We have, in many ways, brought this upon ourselves because of our diet and because of the other drugs that we take and the other destructive things that go on in the name of curing other things, as in antibiotics. So, probiotic, antibiotic, you can guess who's going to war here. But anyway, so probiotics. I'm going to try and briefly introduce you to probiotics and what we're going to talk about today and give you some examples of reasons why you should be coming back to pay attention to future videos. They'll be short. They're just going to be kind of clinical, the follow-up ones. They'll be the how, why, where, when, and what kind, and those kinds of videos to explain more of the details of what you should be doing and shouldn't be doing and why you should be doing things with probiotics. But for today, we can just talk a little bit about phrases that in history have come up are replete with all kinds of indications that we have to be more careful about what we do as far as our fuel, our food, our drink. Everyone knows moderation is the key to everything, but also it was a phrase I think in the 60s that was coined by a gentleman a century earlier, almost 2 centuries earlier, and it was "you are what you eat," and it became kind of trendy in the 60s, born again, if you will. But the two gentlemen that coined the original phrase were a German philosopher named Feuerbach and a French politician, lawyer, and also, of course, a food aficionado. And his name was Savarin, and he lived in the 1700s into the 1800s, late 1700s, 1800s. But the key to the two, not that they just coined that phrase, but the key is that they also lived, Severin lived to be 71 years old and Feuerbach 68 years old. And this was in a time period that the average life expectancy was 40 years. So they didn't just talk, they lived their talk, and they knew what they were talking about. And they outlived a whole bunch of people. You know, that's, as you get older, that's what becomes more important. And we also reap the rewards of either taking care of our bodies or not. So anyhow, one of the things I ran across as well in doing a little research in probiotics was a gentleman over in England, a professor who was a professor of epidemiology, and he, unfortunately, or fortunately for us, used his son as a lab experiment. And his son was in university over there, and he told him that he wanted him to eat just McDonald's for 10 days. Just McDonald's for 10 days. Can you imagine? So he ate the McNuggets and the fries and the Coca-Cola and just for 10 days. And his son reported back, and he said that he felt okay for the first 3 days, and he said, but he started to get lethargic and slowed down, and then some of his fellow students were remarking how he actually was turning gray. He was taking on a gray shaded skin color, ashy, if you will. It's I guess is the expression. But he, in any case, he was also, his father had him taking stool samples to various labs to be examined, and he found that his son had lost 1,400 species of bacteria that normally live in your gut and uh, that do all the assistance and the transfer of fuel and the digestion and so forth and so on. And he that's about 40% of your good bacteria uh, that you're losing by eating that food. Now we all don't eat McDonald's every day, all day, in and out, but you can. It's an exemplification of how detrimental fast food can be if you take something to an extreme. But on an everyday diet, if you consider the over time, just eating that stuff once a day on a regular basis, that's what it can do to you. In any case, just as in the same sense, you talk about you are what you eat, and we don't want to become McDonald's, so we don't want it constant McDonald's or fast food, for that matter, any fast food diet. But we do want to eat correct things, and we'll talk about that in future videos as well. So come on back, and I'll leave a schedule up as soon as I have one as to when the future videos. And again, this one I let myself go on a little bit. I'm going to try and keep them down to 3 minutes because nobody has more than 3 minutes of attention span these days. So why should I expect to go longer than that? So you have a great day. Be healthy and be probiotic.